What's up everybody, welcome back to Age of Empires Tips, and in this video I'm going to show you a strategy to get to the Bronze Age very quickly in under 15 minutes on a hill country map. Hill country is the only map type that is guaranteed to have no water inside of it, and this is going to make it a little bit more difficult than the other maps that do or might have water inside of it. I'll be playing with the Babylonians, but really this applies to any civilization that you use if you want to get to the Bronze Age quickly. So let's begin. Now right off the bat, queue 4 villagers in your town center and then make your first house. It is important that you place your house at a sufficient distance from your town center. This is more important in hill country than in any other map because you need the space to create farms around your town center later on. Now find your nearest patch of berry bushes and drop down your granary, keeping in mind all the important things about proper granary placement. Now just like in the other map types, you want to put 5 of your villagers on berry bushes, the first 5 villagers, or if your patch of berry bushes is really bad, put 6 on them, but you need to have a steady flow of villagers. That is just as important in hill country as it is in any other map. Now the 6th villager drops down a house at a sufficient distance from your town center again. Now at this point you really want to scan your map for food and find the best place for your storage pit. I'm going to place my storage pit over here and I'm going to herd those deer towards that forest over there. Now the 6th villager and 7th villager go chopping wood, as go the rest of the remaining villagers that will be coming on from now on. Meanwhile, you want to really scan your map for available food. Hunting is especially very important in hill country, as obviously it does not contain any water. Make sure to keep pressing, keep creating villages in your town center, don't forget them. Very important, and drop down houses as you need, having them a sufficient distance away from your town center. All the new villagers for now go chop wood near your town center, and now the time really has come to start herding those deer towards that forest over there to get ready to make my first storage pit. Now hill country is a map type that is a lot more difficult to master than some of the other water maps, especially for beginners. The main reason for this is that there is no basic strategy that will guarantee you some success early in the game. I showed you the most basic strategy for a Continental map type, which will usually work and it will give you a decent Bronze Age. Of course it is not the best strategy, it is not very adaptive. But it will work for beginners, and it will give you a solid game. But for hill country this is not the case. There's no strategy that you can just use and know beforehand what you will do. Really you have to plan your entire setup in hill country very carefully if you want to have a decent game later on. So for instance right now I'm herding those deer towards that forest, and really I have a very efficient storage pit, first storage pit, but obviously in another game I might not have this. I might have to make a storage pit at a forest and not have deer right next to it. And I will have to wait in order to make my second granary or second storage pit for my second food source. Or I might have some elephants close to my town center, or even some deer close to my town center that I can herd towards my town center. There's all sorts of different options, and there's no one recipe for success in a hill country map that will that you know beforehand will give you a decent Bronze Age game. You just have to look at the available food sources and use them wisely. Now what is important is after you've made your first storage pit, you really want to have 5 villagers cutting wood. If you don't have a second food source by now, for instance right now I have some deer near my storage pit, you want to have more woodcutters obviously, but you want to make a second granary or a second storage pit as soon as possible for your second food source. And after that you really want to have only 5 villagers on wood from that point on in the game. Obviously later on you will want to have more woodcutters, but for now 5 will be the optimal amount. So I've decided to make a second storage pit and herd some deer towards it and really start hunting for some more food. And 1 deer got away, but that's just fine, it doesn't really matter. Make sure to kill the deer as close to your storage pit as possible. And right now I'm also hunting that elephant over there. Yeah, multitasking is very important in Age of Empires, so get used to it. Also make sure to keep pressing H and C to create more villagers as you go. Very important throughout the entire start of the game. So right now I have decided to hunt those elephants over here to get some more food. And I've decided to create 28 villagers before advancing to the next stage. And this is quite a lot, in fact. Really 28 is the maximum amount of villagers that you want to have when entering the second age. And it kind of depends on the map that you have. If you have a lot of food, you can make more villages if you want to. So right now I have quite a lot of food, so 28 villagers kind of makes sense. If you have less food, obviously you want to make less villagers, because you want to still have enough food to advance to the Bronze Age. It would kind of suck if you are stuck in a Tool Age and you have to farm your way up to the Bronze Age. Even though in a revealed map, that's not really that much of an issue, but yeah, really 28 villages is the maximum amount. For the minimum amount of villages, I would suggest 24. So anywhere from 24 to 28 villagers before entering the Tool Age is the optimal amount, in my opinion. It also depends on what your opponents are doing. Obviously, if your opponent is stuck at 20 villagers, then it's obvious that he is going to rush. So in that case, you don't really want to make 28 villagers. You want to bronze with maybe 24 or 25 villagers, so you can defend against his rush if you need to. While advancing to the Tool Age, you need to make your barracks, just as in any other map. If you have a narrow opening, just like here, you can use your buildings, your barracks and your market that I'm making right now, as I just advanced to the Tool Age, to block off the way for your enemy. This can be crucial, as you don't really want to waste time mining stone. You can fill remaining gaps with houses, and it will give you just enough time to relocate your villagers should the enemy come in over there, because you will first have to destroy your houses. Then of course you can use your 150 stone available to you at the start of the game to create additional walls to strengthen your defenses. I'm not doing that this game. I will just show you how to get to the Bronze Age very quickly and efficiently. Okay, so once you've entered the Tool Age and made your market and your archery range, you want to put more and more villagers on wood. And also you want to take villages away from wood and use them to make farms. At this point you really want to start making farms. And at the same time make sure to create some more archery ranges. Also make sure to upgrade wood cutting in the market. This is a very important upgrade as it is in any other map type. So create some farms, very important, and at the same time create archery ranges to get ready to attack right away in the Bronze Age. So make sure to research wheel as soon as you hit the Bronze Age. And now I'm creating 6 archery ranges here, which is actually quite a lot, and I do not really advise beginners to do this. It's better to create 4 or 5 archery ranges. It also depends on the amount of villagers that you have. If you have less villagers, then obviously you want to create less archery ranges. For instance, if you only have 24 villagers, it's better to create maybe 3 archery ranges, especially for beginners. What is important is that you can have a steady flow of chariot archers from your ranges. Okay, so if you have 6 archery ranges but you can only pump like 3 chariot archers at a time, then you've just wasted a lot of wood on archery ranges that are doing nothing, and you might have been better off using that wood for farms. So as soon as the research of wheel is done, queue 1 chariot archer in all of your archery ranges. So every archery range has 1 chariot archer queued. And if you have food left over, make sure to create additional villagers and use them to farm. Or if you already have enough farms, use them to chop wood. Now from this point on, you really want to create more villagers and more army in order to get bigger and bigger and really start facing your enemy. Make sure to attack with a lot of force, so wait until your second wave of chariot archers is ready and then start attacking the enemy. Obviously this part of the strategy is going to change if you have a civilization that does not get chariot archers. Everything will be the same up until the Tool Age, because when you are advancing to the Bronze Age, you want to get gold to make cavalry, and also instead of archery ranges you want to make stables, of course. But this is how to get to the Bronze Age very quickly and efficiently in a hill country map type. Of course, it is with map revealed enabled. Without it, it's going to be somewhat more difficult, but I suggest beginners to start off with map revealed and really get acquainted with the map type before getting into exploration and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you found it useful, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.